Oh, you came and tucked your way into my heart. Oh, you look at me in ways I never loved. With you I know that this is all, so I don't need to take it slow. If you want me, then I believe that there's a simple.
Alright, the first thing that I like to do is to click on the app that I'm using. I have a folder for all the apps that I use in editing my pictures. There is the Pixel Lab, there's the PixArt, there's the Motion Portrait, there is the Facetune 2, there's Lightroom, there's Canva, and there's Snapseed. Every of these apps serve their different purpose. It depends on what I'm trying to achieve. It depends on what exactly that I want, the mood that I want. But for your normal daily beautiful aesthetic worthy kind of pictures, I would advise you get the Lightroom. That's what I'm going to be using for this editing. Lightroom has so many wonderful features that you can play around with, very easy to learn. So for this video, I'm going to be using the Lightroom. If you do not have the Lightroom app, go on your iOS or your Play Store to download it and then come back here. Good. Now I'm going to click on the Lightroom application and insert the pictures that I want to edit. After that, I'll just head to my gallery to select the pictures that I want to edit in this video. For this video, I took some shots, the one that had good lighting and the one that did not have good lighting. So I'll just select the pictures that I want to edit and export them over to the Lightroom application. Select this one that has very poor lighting and this one, yes, and I'll export to the Lightroom app. After doing that, I'll go over to my Lightroom application and begin the editing process. I'll click on all photos when I click on my open my Lightroom. I'll click on the photo that I want to edit, that I want to work on. So I'm going to be using this picture, that one, for this edit. First thing I like to do is, since this one has poor lighting, I'll click on the light icon. I'll click on the light icon and increase the exposure because the lighting is quite dark in this picture. I'll take my exposure to 0.75. Then I'll go to my contrast and take it to -24. You can play around it, just play around it, don't be too constrained, see what works for you best. But for me, I like to make everything as mild as possible, so I will take my contrast to -24. Yeah, I think that's perfect. Yes. After that, I'll head over to my highlights and take my highlight to -42. Like I say, just play around it, see what works best for you. After that, I'll head over to my shadows. Yes, so you see, shadow, when you reduce it, it becomes too dark. When you increase it, it becomes beautiful. So I just want the minimal. So I'll take my shadows to +28, just so everything is bright and the colors are popping. Then I'll go down to my white, click on the white and take the white to +51. Then click on the last button there, which is the black, and take the black to, sorry about that, the black to +31. This is the before and this is the after. I've not even done anything much. You can see that the colors are already popping, right? After that, I click on the next icon and I'll click on temperature. Here you have to be very careful not to do too much. Whatever you do here can make or mar your pictures, not essentially. So you click on your temperature, just be very mild. That's just the key. Nobody wants to know that you edit your pictures. You see, if you do too much with temperature, it becomes too thick, right? But for me, I'm just going to make it very minimal. I'm going to take my temperature to +4. Just 4 is fine with me. And then I'll head over to my vibrance. I'm doing so much. Usually I might not even touch the vibrance, right? But because the picture has a lot of colors that needs to be popped, so yes, I have to work on it. So my vibrance is going to be +6. Just 6 is fine. Don't do too much again. Then I'll head over to my saturation. 6 is fine. Okay, I'll head over to my saturation, and I would take my saturation to maybe 4 or 3, because saturation, vibrant just makes the picture quite vivid and beautiful and so unreal, and that's not what we're trying to achieve. So this is the before, this is the after. Now we're going to the main, where you get to mix and add and pick the colors and everything. You go to mix. Under this mix, you have all the colors that probably every picture has. We have the red, we have the orange, the yellow, the green, the light blue, we have purple, and we have indigo. For the red, I would adjust my hue to plus 31, I guess. Plus 31 is fine. I'm not going to touch saturation. I don't want to touch it's fine. You see, if you touch it, it becomes too. If you increase the saturation, it gets high, it becomes somehow, and then when you reduce, it becomes dead. Then for the orange, I'm not touching the hue. I'm just going to increase the saturation of the orange. The orange matches with the color of the floor and the walls and also your skin, so you don't want to make it too much, right? I would take my saturation to +44. You can see that the colors are already coming out and everything is already popping. Then that's all I'm going to do. I'm going to head over to yellow. For the yellow, I'm going to kill the hue, take it to -100. I am not a fan of green. So in my pictures, you would hardly ever see anything that's greenish. Everything goes to white. That's the aesthetic that I like. So you see, when you take it, the green begins to pop. When you take to -100, everything dies. And then the colors are now coming. I want to be the spotlight of the picture. So I kill everything that wants to take my shine. That's so petty. Anyway, so you head over to the greens, do the same thing, kill the 100, -100 hue, saturation -100, luminance, you increase the luminance to +100. You can see that the colors are popping, sis. For the light blue, there's not so much to do. There's no really light blue there aside from the sky, and I don't like blues in my pictures also. I don't like blue skies. But for the jean, I need the jean to be popping, the colors to be vibrant. So I'm going to increase the saturation of my blue to plus 61. 61 is fine, just so it doesn't become so fake, right? There's no purple, there's no indigo. That's that for that. I'm going to move on to the next feature, add effects. Under my effect, there's texture. You see, when you add texture, it becomes too solid, and that's not what I want to achieve. I hardly ever use texture for my pictures, and so I'll just make that to +4. Texture +4. Then clarity, I don't use clarity for my pictures at all. When you take it to minus, it becomes too fake and becomes too blurry, and we know that, and too smooth, it becomes really fake, and that's not what we're trying to achieve. So I'm going to leave the clarity, I'm not touching it. The haze, we head over to the haze. You can choose to either add, you can see what it just did, right? You can see what adding the haze did. You can kill or brighten up your pictures, but I'm not going to touch the haze. I don't have any need of that. I'm not going to touch vintage. I'm going to move on to graying. I'm going to increase the grain amount of my pictures to 93. Let's see. You can see the way the picture looks really lovely. I don't know the perfect word for it, but that's what grain does to your picture, that lovely aesthetic. So that's basically it. You can click on the three dots over there to save your pictures. So let's say you want to even create, instead of you always going over to like redo this, you can create preset. Click on three dot, create preset, click on this and then let's say I want to save it with tutorial pictures, tutorial preset. I'm going to save it with tutorial preset and save, and then I can just insert it to every other picture. So this was the after editing it with this preset. This is the before. This is the before of the picture. You can see the difference and everything. This is the before of the, sorry, it's taking time to load. This is the after. Now here is the before of the picture. You can see that everything is beautiful. This is like good for your everyday picture. Yeah. So this was the before, this was the after of this is the before of this picture. This is the before, the after. Why am I missing this stuff? This is the after of the picture. You can see how beautiful these pictures are. These are like my normal regular day-to-day pictures. This is the after, this is the before, after. You can see how lovely this is. Remember this picture, guys, see the after, and so many other pictures that I've edited, right? So if you really enjoyed this video, please let me know in the comment section. Do not forget to subscribe, guys. Please subscribe, please like, please share to your friends, and let me know if you want to see a video of me using every other apps I mentioned to edit my pictures. It was really nice filming this picture. Any pictures you have, please let me know in the comment section. But for now, I love you guys. Bye. I'm going to say this at the end of the video. Bye.